it's Warzone, and welcome back to another episode of the F1 2019 Career Mode. This episode, we're going to be racing at the Russian Grand Prix this weekend, round number 16, the F1 calendar. I feel like we're making decent progress up the field in the R&D chart there. We're in fourth last, but that is still an improvement, as you can see from how the graph looks. We've improved a lot going into Russia this weekend. So let's get into qualifying.
Welcome F1 fans, where qualifying will be starting in the next few minutes as the teams prepare to get out on track at the Sochi Autodrome here in Russia. It always looked like the kind of track that asks an awful lot of the rear tyres, such as the frequency of low-speed exits.
No matter how good a driver is at managing their throttle application to limit rear slip, they can't always overcome a car that's inherently bad at looking after its rear tyres. Here we have a lot of low-speed corner exits, which means a whole load of energy, heat and tyre wear.
As we go out for our first lap in Q1 of qualifying, we go through the last few turns. Hamilton sets the fastest lap. Across the line we get P5, and we were down in 15th place, and I went out for my second lap just to make sure I didn't get knocked out in Q1, as we were down in 16th. As we cross the line, we are in the green. I move myself up into P5, and George Russell makes it into Q2. He is in Q13. In the qualifying, he did in Q1. And we head up for the first lap in Q2. We ran a little bit wide there. Not the best lap, and I went more wide again. But will it be enough? Yes, it will. We get 6th place. And move on to Q3. Oh, and George Russell ends up beating us. He got P5 in Q2. So this is the first time both Williams will be in Q3 this season, I believe. But as we head out for Q3, I was an idiot and went out for my lap way too late, and I just couldn't even get out. There's no warning about it on the saying I wouldn't be able to get a lap out, and yeah, I don't even know. I went out with like a couple minutes left, so I don't know why. And George Russell doesn't get the best qualifying, he gets 8th.
Welcome one and all to the Russian Grand Prix. We're just a stone's throw from the Georgian border here at Sochi as we get ready to begin the race that served up an absolute cracker back in 2015. A last lap collision between Kimi Raikkonen and Valtteri Bottas sparked controversy in that race, so let's hope the racing is just as tight today. It's time to go racing then in the Sochi Autodrome, where the long run down to the heavy braking zone at turn 2 is one of 2 DRS zones around this 3.6-mile circuit. The other, of course, down into turn 13. 18 corners make up a lap here today, with an average speed somewhere in the region of 130 miles an hour. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Let me ask you about the new Racing Point driver. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Weber, Sergio Perez, and Ricciardo, Russell, and Williams, Grosjean, and Kevin Magnussen, Sainz, Leclerc, Nico Hülkenberg, and Stroll, Raikkonen, Albon, Devon Butler, and Max Verstappen. They've taken a grid penalty. Norris and Pierre Gasly picks up the final grid slot today. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Now, because of a couple of grid penalties, we are going to be able to be starting. We will be starting in 8th place. So we moved up 2 positions, and George Russell has moved up 1, so we'll be starting in 7th. And we're going to be doing that one stop, soft to mediums, and just raising the amount of fuel I have in the car. So let's go into the race. As we go to the 5 red lights for the Russian Grand Prix, and they're out, and we get a horrible start compared to the AI. George Russell gets past, I think it's no, that's not Grosjean, someone else up ahead, I can't really tell, but Grosjean gets past us, but our straight line speed kicks in, and we start to get ahead of Grosjean, and we outbrake so many cars there, or at least 2, Grosjean and, oh, it's Ricardo there behind. And we almost get Russell, but we zoom past the Russell's outside on the long left-hander there. We rub against Perez right there, but we make the move. And now we're just sitting behind Vettel in P5. Weber's in P3. As you can see just ahead, and I think it's the 2 Mercedes and a 1-2 at the moment. And we're going to go through this double left-hander here, try and make up some ground on Vettel. But it looks like they're pulling away a little bit, which is not good, not what I want to see here. I want to try and stay with the front guys, or see if I can. And we do have good straight line speed, so we'll be able to keep up with them on the straights. And we're going to outbrake. We're going to brake kind of late there, go a bit wide. We're going to get a horrible exit through that corner after we go into that little bridge. We go way wide. We're gonna get another bad exit here. We don't have the best brakes on this car, but we do have the straight line speed. So hopefully that will save us here in this race. Valtteri Bottas gets the fastest lap of the race. Now in lap 3, we gained on Vettel. And it looks like Weber's going at Hamilton, so I don't know if he has an issue or something, but and Bottas is just like pulled away from all of us. And I believe Hamilton, it seems like he has an issue because of just like how far ahead Bottas is, and then we overtake him, or we're getting close to him and overtaking him, or about to overtake him. And Perez sends one down the inside on me. Vettel and Hamilton going side by side. Perez takes the position. We're down in P6, but in the next corner I make a dive bomb and get back up into P5. I'm being very aggressive here. Hamilton is able to stay in front of Vettel this time. I dive bomb Vettel there, and Hamilton is a double overtake into the second turn. And we're up into P3, Weber just ahead, and I think we're going to be able to track him down. And in the next couple laps, I believe, because I think our straight line speed is definitely better than theirs, but he has better downforce. But on lap P6, on the second DRS straight, we're going down the inside there. And we'll keep the car on the track, squeeze him out just a tad. He looks for another move there to try and keep the position, but we're up into P2. We're in the podium, and we're definitely not going to get P1. Bottas is literally just shot off like a rocket and left, but Weber, he's coming back at us. And I'm going to try to do a switchback move. It doesn't work. We're going to have to try and overtake him in the first DRS straight here. We're going to have to get in his slipstream, DRS, and get past him. Vettel is behind looking for a move. We're going to have to just block him right there. Weber goes defensive, and we just like fly by him, basically. And we're able to just go around the outside on Weber and take the position, and we're back up into P2. Now in lap 8, I go a little wide here. That opens the door for Vettel. We're going to get a bad exit. And Vettel gets around us. We're in P3. We lost the position, but we're still on the podium. That's mainly what I want to get. Hamilton has overtaken Perez, and I think Hamilton has now gone to pits in lap 10. Perez is behind, and looks like Vettel, ooh, a little wide. going into the pits, but Vettel and Perez, I think, are staying out. Hopefully we can get a fast stop to stay ahead of some people. Wait, actually, I think I saw Hamilton in the running order, and I think he was behind Perez, so Perez must have just overtook him. I don't really know what happened today, but he seems kind of far behind, so we can keep the pit. 2.1, that's a pretty fast pit stop right there. We're going to come out in P18, I think, just ahead of Grosjean. He's not having the best race unless... Oh, actually, yeah, he's front pit. He's kind of far behind. When we run wide, we kind of cut the corner in turn 3. As we move on 2 laps later, Devin Butler is just ahead of us, and we're in P11 from overtaking people as they went into the pits. And these guys are still out there. We make a dive on Butler. I need to get past as much people as possible, as quickly as possible, to make sure I keep that podium place. And don't get overcut in the pit stops. It looks like Gas is trying to make a move on Albon up ahead. And another car's in the pit. It's Vettel. We stay ahead of him. And we go around the outside of Albon on the straight, and we overtake him on the straight. And we're able to keep the pit, and we're able to stay ahead and go into the second turn. And actually create a decent gap. And I think we're going to still be in the podium position. But Bottas is in second, so someone must be staying out as Norris goes into the pits. But Vettel is behind, so we're going to have to do a lot of defending, I feel like, to stay in front of him for the next 14-ish laps. Now in lap 14, Vettel's going to try and go around the outside here. He gets ahead of us, and we're going to try and keep very close to him. We get the DRS on it, which is very important here. And we just go into his slipstream. I'm going to cut 2 to the side, which is going to turn to the outside here. We pull right ahead of him, and we're able to take back P3 here. Can't really tell who's... Oh, it's Magnussen. He's in second right now, but we have more things to worry about than where Magnussen is, as Vettel overtakes us on the straight. So we're going to have to get him back real soon. This is going to be very bad, and we're going to lose our podium that we've been working very hard to get. But Magnussen is going to come in, so we're still going to be in the podium, I hope. But he could come back on his soft tires, so we've got to be careful about that. But it might not happen. But we do have Perez behind. They're pretty quick in the straight, so we must be very careful on keeping the position, or something bad might happen if we might lose it from a bad mistake, a bad exit. Perez could catch up to us, or just a bad turn in general. Like this, Perez gets even close, which is not good at all, especially if I want to keep this podium here. So lap 20, like three laps later, I go wide into a corner, very wide, and Perez has stuck his nose on our to the inside. He's give us a little bump there. And we're gonna have to go side by side into that corner. I'm gonna give him the position as we go through this double left-hander here, and then I'm gonna try and overtake him on the straight. Let's see if we can get past with the DRs, with the slipstream here. We go to his inside there, or outside, which turns to the inside, and we complete the move before we even get into the next turn. Now Perez makes a dive bomb into his left-hander, and he keeps his nose in there. He's still right there next to us, but leaving the room a little bit, but he decides to pull out of the move. But now he's going to have DRS on us. I think we turn up to rich mix, overtake mode. We're going to have to try and stay ahead of him. really make a move on the straight. I go a bit defensive there, try and take as much room track as I can. And he tries to dive bomb to the inside, but I kind of force him out. Don't give him that much room, and he kind of drops back a little bit. And now Charles Leclerc, he's in fourth place. He's overtaken Perez, and Perez is also right there. So it looks like a lot of cars. And now we're gonna have to keep. We have to fight for third front with Leclerc and the Ferrari. With the DRS, we can pull around the outside. Our straight line speed is super fast, and even Perez's straight line speed is better than the Ferrari as he overtakes him. We go wide into the third turn there. Slows us down a lot because it's a bad exit. Perez tries to go around the outside there. We try and hold position and try and keep it. But then we dive bomb into the next turn. We're able to get into P3. Now on lap 27, the last lap of the race, Perez overtakes us, and we make a dive bomb into the second turn. But that doesn't work. Perez stays ahead. We're gonna have to keep P3. We're gonna have to get back P3 here, get our first podium. That's the only way we're gonna get our first podium. I feel like this is probably gonna be our best chance this whole year. We made the improvements on the car, and we're gonna have to show Williams is getting back towards the front here, at least at some racetracks. As we hit the wall, we lost part of our front wing. That's gonna hurt us so much, and we hit into Charles Leclerc. So we're gonna have some wing damage as we go through the turns. It's gonna definitely lose some of the downforce here. This is probably gonna be our last chance to overtake here in the DRS. So Valtteri Bottas gets first place. I'm guessing Vettel is second. And in the DRS, in the slipstream of Perez with the DRS, are we gonna make a move? We make a huge dive bomb here. We shut Perez out of the way as we make the dive bomb. Perez still sticking his nose in. He wants this podium, and we're gonna swing it around the outside here. We're gonna get the inside, and we're gonna squeeze Perez out as we go out of the final corner. There's not gonna be a chance for him to overtake us here. And we go through the last two corners of the race. And we take this right-hand turn. We're going to get our first podium of our career at Russia, P3.
That's it for another Grand Prix and a fantastic win for Mercedes. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes. So let's review the updated.
And George Russell, he ended up falling way back. He only gets 13th. You can't even see Weber at the moment. He's below P14, so he must have fallen down. They did not have good days. But for us, it was a great day as we go from P10 to P3, which is great, and it's going to definitely boost us up the standings in the championship here. And we move up to 9th with 31 points. We're 1 point ahead of Magnussen and Daniel Ricciardo, but I think Hamilton and Bottas are the only real contenders. Actually, both Ferraris aren't too far behind, I feel like. But after that, even Max is over 100 points, I believe, behind. And yeah, Ferrari is only like 20. Can't tell if that's 25 or 5%, but they're still pretty close compared to all the other teams. If you guys did enjoy this episode, like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Let me see you one time.